Hello everyone, no? So today we will be discussing measures of dispersion, the third measure of the third statistical measurements that we are talking about in the basic statistics, no? So we have discussed central tendencies, which talks about how close the data are or how related the data are to each other. We have talked about the position, measures of position. This pertains to the position of a data in respect to the equal probability of the whole data set. And now we are going to talk about measures of dispersion. Okay, so what is measure of dispersion? So when we say measures of dispersion, so these are the values describing how far are each data points from the mean. No, so ang pinakaano natin dito parang palatandaan or let's say Q value is the mean, no? So yung dispersion, it has always something to do with the mean. Okay, so excuse me. This came from the root word disperse, no, in dispersion, with the meaning of spread apart, no. Kaya ang tinutukoy na measures of dispersion is how far are the data from the mean. Okay, so again, just like with the previous discussion, we will be having two sets of measures of dispersion. So first, let's talk about measures of dispersion for ungrouped data. So for ungrouped data, no, so we by the way, we have three measures of dispersion. We have the range, the variance, and the standard deviation. No? So let's first talk about the range. So when we say the range, this is the difference from the lowest and the highest element in the data set. Okay, so for example, we have two sets of data set here. No? So determine the range of negative 10, 0, 10, 20, 30, and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so first, no, let's before we jump with the range, no, before we go to the range, kahit sa formula ng range is hindi naman diyan pinapakita yung mean or hindi naman kasama yung mean. But let's get the mean of this data. No, so yung first data set, let's say this is set A, this is set B. Okay, so let's get the mean of set A. So for the mean of set A, we have negative 10 plus 0 plus 10 plus 20 plus 30 all over 5 since 5 yung elements natin dito. So we have this is 0. 20 plus 30 is 50 divided 5. 5 is 10. So the mean of the first data set is 10, no? And the mean of the second data set, no, is we have 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 11 plus 12 all over 5. So 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 11 plus 12, that is equivalent to 50 divided by 5 is equal to 10. So as we can see, no, these two data sets have the same mean. Okay, but they have different range, which tells us, no, na the lower the range, no, mas konti yung difference between the highest and the lowest element. No, mas medyo close yung mga data natin kapag mas mababa yung range. Okay, so let's get the range of the first data set we have for set A. So we have RA. So this is equivalent to 30 minus negative 10. Since 30 is the highest, negative 10 is the lowest. So we have here 30 plus 10. So this is equivalent to 40. So 40 yung range ng set A natin, ng data set A natin. Okay, so let's look for the range of the data set B. No, so for data set B, that is 12 minus 8. Okay, 12 is the highest, 8 is the lowest. So we have this is equivalent to 4. So meaning mas malapit yung second data set natin, no, sa isa't isa or to the mean itself. Bakit? Kasi range lang is 4 eh. Diba? The range is just 4. Yung isa kasi 40, no, masyadong malayo yung mga data natin from each other. Okay, so that's what the range wants to tell us. Okay, it's just the difference, no, from the highest and the lowest element. Okay, next, let's talk about the variance. No, so for the variance, this tells us how far each data in a data set is from the mean from every other data. No, yun yung variance na, ayun yung ibig sabihin ng variance. So the formula for the variance, now by the way, the symbol for variance is sigma squared, no? So this is variance. So this is the formula, the summation of x sub n, which is the individual element, minus the mean, okay? So, squared, okay, quantity squared, okay, from the first element to the very last element, divided by the total number of elements. Okay, just like with this one, no? Let's determine. So, alam natin that the means are equal, di ba? 10. 10 yung mean natin. So, let's get the variance, no, of each data set. So, we have your sigma squared A. So, this is equivalent to the summation nung naka-square, no? So, we have negative 10 minus 10 squared plus 0 minus 10 squared plus 10 minus 10 squared plus we have 20 minus 10 squared plus 30 minus 10 squared. All over, so this is all over 5. Okay, so all over 5 to. So we have, this is equivalent to, this is negative 20 squared. Okay, then we have plus negative 10 squared plus 0 plus 10 squared plus 20 squared. Ayan, all over 5. So, this is equivalent to, so let's bring out our calculator. For a while. Ayan. So, game, no? So, we have negative 20 squared plus negative 10 squared plus 0, or kahit di na natin ilagay kasi 0 lang naman yun, no? Kasi 0 squared is 0. Okay, so we have 10 squared plus 20 squared. Okay, so all over 5. So we have our variance is 200. Okay, so that's our variance for set A. Okay, for set B, so we have the variance for set B. This is equivalent to, we have 8 minus 10 squared plus 9 minus 10 squared plus 10 minus 10 squared plus 11 minus 10 squared plus 12 minus 10 squared. All over 5. Okay, so we have sigma squared B. This is equivalent to negative 2 squared plus negative 1 squared plus 0 plus 1 squared plus 2 squared. All over 5. Okay, so therefore, the variance, okay, of this data set is equivalent to, so we have negative 2 squared. Okay. So we have negative 2 squared plus negative 1 squared plus 0, din na natin lalagay, then plus 1. 1 squared is 1 plus 2 squared all over 5. So therefore, we have 2. No, so the variance is 2. Remember guys, the lower the variance, mas dikit-dikit, no, mas related yung data natin. Okay, so ano sir, ano ang parang insight natin dito? The lower the variance, the better. Okay, basically, no, yun yung makukuha natin dito. The lower the variance, the better. No, meaning mas consistent yung data natin in the sense na mas dikit-dikit siya or mas malapit siya with the mean. Okay? So, kaya kung mapapansin niyo, no, yung sa una, ang lalayo ng data natin, no? So, ayan. Okay? So, next, we have the standard deviation. Okay? So, kung si variance tells us how far apart are the individual data no, from the mean. Si standard deviation naman tells us how far apart are the data set, no, yung buong data set na relative to the mean. Okay, so this is equal to the square root of variance. So kung si variance is sigma squared, no, dito naman sigma na lang ang sign natin for the standard deviation. Okay. So, determine the standard deviation of the same data set kanina. No? So, since ang formula lang naman natin for standard deviation is square root ng variance, no? So, kunin na lang natin yung square root ng variance natin kanina. So, for the variance of data set A, so that is the square root of 200, diba? Which is equivalent to 10 square root of 2. Okay, so we have for the standard deviation of B, no, which is equivalent to square root of 2. No? So, we can infer that dataset A is 10 times more dispersed as compared to dataset B. Because, meron tayong 10 times square root of 2, ang ating standard deviation for dataset B is just square root of 2. No, so we can infer again that the dataset A is 10 times more dispersed as compared to dataset B. This is dataset A, this is dataset B. Okay? So, yun yung mga pwede nating ma-infer from the different measures of dispersion that we have. Okay? So, that's for measures of dispersion for ungrouped data. Okay, now let's talk about group data. So we will just be using the same data set, no, that we have. The difference is magdadagdag tayo ng 3 columns. Okay, ano 'yon? We have the midpoint minus the mean squared, and the frequency times the midpoint minus the mean quantity squared. Okay, so yun yung mga idadagdag natin. So, and may isa tayong idadagdag na dataset, na total, no, yung total ng last column natin. Kasi later gagamitin natin siya for the computation of the variance, no, para mas mabilis natin ma-compute yung ating different measures of dispersion. Okay, so again, no, midpoint minus the mean, we all know that the mean, no, ano ba ang formula natin again for the mean? That is, if we're going to go back, di ba? The mean of the group data is equivalent to the summation of f times m over the summation of f. So that is the summation of f times m over the summation of f, which is equivalent to 2801 divided by 38. Since yun na yung nakuha natin, di ba, previously. This is equivalent to 73.711. Diba? Yun yung nakuha nating mean, remember dun sa previous discussion natin with central tendency. Okay, so we have the midpoint minus the mean. So i-subtract lang natin to, no, dito. Okay, so game, no? So let's bring out our calculator. Ayan. So para mas mabilis, no, type lang tayo ng type. Okay, so wait lang, nagloko. Okay, so let's start with the first one. So we have the midpoint minus the mean. So that is, lagay ko na lang x minus, since constant naman yung mean natin, no, para at least sa x na lang ako magpapalit-palit ng value. Okay, so this is calc, no? Then pag tinanong ano yung x, no? So just input the midpoint, no? Ano yung midpoint natin? That's 44.5. So we have negative 29.21. So, lagay natin dito, no? So, we have negative 29.211. Next. So, for the next one, so again, ganun na lang calc. Para mabilis, 54.5. So, we have negative 19.21. So, ano mapapansin ninyo, no? Nag-a-add lang ako na nag-a-add ng 10, no? So, bakit? Since constant si mean and nagbabago lang naman is midpoint, and ang difference ng midpoint from other midpoints is always 10. So, you can just simply add 10 succeedingly, no? So, para at least dire-diretso. So, we have negative 9.211. Okay, then dito magbabago dito, no? Kasi positive na yung answer natin. So, we have, so let's validate 64.5. Ayan. That's 9.211. The next, that is 74.5. Ito positive na. So we have 0.7 0.789. No, so we have 0.789. Ayan. Next. So we have calc 84.5. So we have 10.789. So dito pwede nyo na idire-diretso, no? So be careful lang dun sa transition from negative to 0 to positive. Okay, baka mamaya kasi dire-diretsuhin niyo yung decimal, may iiba yung sagot. No, so we have here 20.789. Okay? So napopulate na natin yung first column na dadagdag. So dun tayo sa pangalawa. No, so we have negative 29.211. Okay, so squared, that's equivalent to kahit ano na lang, 3 decimal places. So para mag-auto na 3 decimal places yung calculus ninyo, shift, setup, fix, 0 to 9. So lagay nyo lang 3. Para at least diretso 3 decimal places na agad. No? So we have 853.283. Okay, next. So we have lagay na lang natin dito, x squared. Tapos ganun na rin, calc. Negative 19.211. So we have 369.063. Then we have again calc. Negative 9.211. Okay, so we have 84. Saan ako? Yan. 84.843. Next. So we have calc 0.789. So that is 0.623. Okay, next. 10.789. So we have 116.403. Then we have calc 20.789. So that is 432.183. Okay? So napapilate na natin yung second column, doon na tayo sa last column. So, anong gagawin natin dito? We were just going to multiply the frequency to the squared, no? Doon sa squared answer natin. Dito sa last column. So, ano ba yung frequency natin? Ito, no, yung nasa gilid. Ito, no, 356,987. Okay, so we have for the first, we have 853.283 times 3. That is 255.9.849. Next, we have 5. Times 369.063. So that is 1845.315. Okay, next. So we have 6 times 84.843. So that is 509. 509.058. Okay, next. So we have 9 times 0.623. So we have 5.607. Next, so we have 84 tuloy. 8 times 116.403. So that is 931. entry 1.224. And last, no, we have 7 times 432.183. So this is equivalent to 3025.281. 85.281. Okay, so napopulate na natin yung last column. So we're just going to get the sum, no, para dito sa baba. Okay, so we have for the sum, so we have 2559.849 plus 1845.315 plus 509.058 plus 5.607 plus 931.224 plus 3085.281. So we have the sum is 8936 pasok natin sa loob. 8936.334. And so this is the sum. So later, no, for the computation of the range, the variance, and the standard deviation, we will be using this populated table. Okay, so ganun pa rin ang ating median class is still, no, since ang median class is 19, okay, median class is 19, so eto yun. Oops, sorry. Yeah, kumare pantay. Pero yung naka-highlight, basically that's our median class. Okay, so as you can see, no, habang lumalapit ka sa median class, lumiliit yung mga values mo dun sa dinagdag natin na table, na columns for the table. Okay, so game, no, let's find the range. So for the range, no, so this is just the upper class boundary minus the lower class boundary. Ano yun, no? So balik tayo dito sa table natin. So the upper class boundary, no, is this one. Yung 99.5. And the lower class boundary is this one. Okay, so ayan. No, so i-subtract lang natin, we have 99.5 minus 39.5. So this is equivalent to 9 minus 3, that is 6. Okay, 90 minus 30 is 60. Since 9.5 is just common. No, so mag-zero naman yun. Okay, so that's our range. No, basically, ganun lang siya kadali. Okay, next, no, so we have for the variance. Ito yung importance ng ginawa natin kanina. Para at least pagdating ninyo sa variance, since this is the summation ng f times m minus the mean, midpoint minus the mean quantity squared, isa-substitute mo lang yung nakuha natin. No? Ano ba yung nakuha natin? So, we have 8936.334. That's 8936.334 divided by the frequency, the total frequency, which is 38. Tama? Diba 38 ang total frequency natin? Ayan. So, just use the calculator. No? So, again, so we have, since ito na yung answer, divided by 38 na lang. And so we have, the variance is 235.167. Lagay ko dito, no? The variance is 235.167. Ayan. Okay? So, and last, no, for the standard deviation, sorry, hindi ko pala nababa. Wait lang. So, for the standard deviation, no, just get the square root of the variance. So, we have, this is equivalent to the square root of, ano yung sagot natin? That is 235.167. So, this is equivalent to, balik tayo sa calcu natin. So just get the square root of the answer. We have 15.335. This is our standard deviation. Okay? So, baba ko lang ulit yung ating calcu. Ayan. Okay, so that's it, no? So that's how we get the measures, different statistical measures on how we are going to treat the data. Of course, this is just basic statistics, no? So meron pa tong susunod na lesson supposedly, but you will be learning those on your engineering data analysis na subject. Okay, so but for now, at least you have an idea on the different statistical measures, no? And by the way, all the statistical measures are actually computable using Excel, no? So you can explore, no? Just use the formulas that I discussed, implement nyo, kumbaga parang itatranslate nyo lang yung formula sa Excel, okay? Para mabuo nyo tong table na to. O, tong table na to para mabuo niyo. Gagamitan nyo lang siya ng formula sa Excel para mabilis din, no? So you can use that one. Okay, so, but I will not be showing it here anymore, no? So, ano naman, meron naman mga available online resources to check on how to construct the frequency distribution table using Excel. Okay, so, thank you guys for listening. Okay, I hope you guys learned something, no? Stay safe and God bless.